As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Thought about going with Reagan Smith, OU women's gymnastics, hitting a perfect 10 over the weekend in their gymnastics meet, which has become pretty much routine for the OU women. Perfect 10s happening quite a bit so far this year. But I went with Alabama. Alabama just got approval for a new basketball arena. It's going to seat about 10,000. It's going to be on campus. Student section is going to be really tight right around the court. It's going to be really cool. It's going to cost $183 million.
Excuse me, what now?
$183 million.
This is for Bama football, right?
Hoops, which they've done
Huh.
good. It's what happens when you win, I guess, right? So
That's a lot of money.
I really don't give two rips about Alabama and their arena, but it pisses me off to no end that we still cannot get a basketball arena deal done with the city of Norman. It infuriates me to no end. There's so many benefits that could be had with this. Hoops, gymnastics, concerts, whatever. The mock-ups of what they were going to do was so awesome, so fantastic. Developer standing right there. Just tell me when to go. We got it. We're ready to pump a ton of money, $500 million into your community to build this and the area around it. Can't get it done. Can't get
Okay,
it done.
so I don't live in the Norman area like you do. What's the holdup? Like what because it's not getting done, like you're saying. Like clearly there's some pushback. What's the reasoning? Like it would be too awesome?
TIF financing. The OU wants the city of Norman to help finance the deal, right? To get it done. And they could share access to it. And with all the events that you have there, it'd be right off I-35, really easy to get to if you're coming down from Oklahoma City. If you're passing through, there's a ton of traffic from out of state that passes through I-35 all the time. And this development with there's going to be housing and restaurants and bars, all kinds of stuff. With the funding from the city, it'll be paid back over time in in sales tax and all of that stuff. Like that's the chip in from the city, and the city doesn't want to do it, even though that's how pretty much every arena in every city in the United States gets built. That's how you do it.
Okay, so I'm realizing that there's probably some people that listen to this podcast that are listening to this right now and they're going, "Man, Teddy knows a lot about real estate." Do you think people know that real estate is your day job? Do you think anyone
I
has
don't
any
know.
idea?
That's a good question. Chicago Title, give me a call if you have a real estate closing coming up. Shameless plug.
No,
But
don't.
it infuriates me, man. It infuriates me. It's so easy. So easy. But I've frankly I've given up on the deal. I don't even know where it is anymore. I used to follow it all the time, and now it's just DED, dead.
Look what you've done, City of Norman. You've made Ted sad.
I'm
You all right,
past
man?
sad.
All right. Who do you have as your loser of the weekend? Are you going to
I
do it again?
It's OU men's hoops.
Yeah, they lost again.
And I'm all the way in Mexico, and I got to watch that basketball game with a couple of Oklahoma State fans around. That's frustrating. And I feel like they've hit that section, where I'm not saying you throw in the towel, but you start to really lose hope on what the outcome of the season's going to be. Play well early on until everyone like is really knows what your strengths and weaknesses are as a roster, and you've got high hopes and high expectations, which they shouldn't change that. But I feel like they're in that spot where it's really going to start to wear on them, like mentally, and it's going to be hard to close this thing out.
Yeah. I thought Tanner Groves did some good things offensively. Got off to the hot start, but we've said this a lot. We've talked about it a lot. Oklahoma State, more length, more athleticism. And when OU's playing against a more athletic team, they got to shoot the three well, and 6 of 22. It's just not going to get it done on the road in Big 12 play. It's just not.
Nope. We're going backwards on the old three ball. It's I think it's like, I don't know, the mental block has crept in, I feel like, on the threes, and we still defend really good at times. The effort is there. It's a good, tough group of guys. I love the way Porter Moser coaches these guys. And my opinion on the future of OU men's hoops has not changed one bit. Maybe the future thoughts on this season have changed, but overall, I still think we're going to be headed in a really, really good direction. It's just turned into a tough grind here as you're in the depths of Big 12 play.
Yeah. Boone Twins had a nice day against the Sooners. Man, that Cisse alley-oop was sick. I mean, you talk about a dude that could jump out of the gym. That was sweet. But yeah, just didn't go well. Do you want me to tell you something that'll make you feel better? It may shock you, honestly.
Okay, let's hear it.
Joe Lenardi, latest bracketology from Sunday. OU's still in the tournament. And not only are they still in the tournament, they are in the last 4 buys. Not even the last 4 in. Still in the tournament.
Unfortunately, we've still got a lot of Big 12 play ahead of us. But I'm cautiously optimistic, Gabe.
I assume there's a lot of caution in there and not a ton of optimism, but still cautiously optimistic is the proper term.
That's right.
We still believe in you, Porter Moser. You're
We
still
do.
the man. We know you're going to get it right. We've talked about it a lot. Just need a little more talent on the roster. Just a little more.
We'll get there.
If you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker and you've been watching OU basketball, stop what you're doing. Head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. In 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan. It became the first American distillery to win the competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com.
Let's talk money. First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs, checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much, much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank also provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank at First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
All right, for my winner of the weekend, thought about going with OU women's basketball. Thrilling double OT win against West Virginia. And I know West Virginia, not that great, right? But now Jenny Baranchek's team, 20-3
Woo.
on the season. And Taylor Robertson and Maddie Williams, they are the most entertaining combination in OU basketball. That I'm talking men's and women's. Like those two are the most fun to watch.
Coach Baranchek, there was a lot of people that spoke very, very highly of her whenever they made that hire. Frankly, I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping that it was going to be what everyone was building up to be. She's been awesome. And I love listening to her, and like her post-game press conference stuff is awesome too. I feel like we're watching the early stages of her building a juggernaut. Kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, she's awesome. But my winner of the weekend, Michigan. So after going to an interview that a lot of people thought was just a formality with the Minnesota Vikings on National Signing Day, Jim Harbaugh calls the AD and said, "Hey, I'm staying. And this isn't going to happen anymore. I'm not going to flirt with the NFL anymore. I want to stay at Michigan. I'm a Michigan man." I guess reportedly Jim Harbaugh just wasn't liking the Vikings vibes in the meeting, but no, the Vikings didn't offer him the job, either going with the Rams OC, Kevin O'Connell. But no matter what you think of Harbaugh, Teddy, and I know you have thoughts, he's won everywhere he's been. And he's won 72% of his games at Michigan. And he just got them over the hump against Ohio State. They won the Big Ten. They went to the college football playoff. It didn't go particularly well, but they still went. He just signed a top 10 recruiting class. And even though he's probably going to want more money after taking that pay cut for last season, Michigan's got to be thrilled that he's staying, man.
Yeah. No, I think so. And the fact that he was able to still sign a top 10 class when pretty much everyone was reporting that he's gone to the NFL. Like at first it was the Vikings, or at first it was the Raiders, right? And then the Vikings, and still be able to pull in that class. That's impressive, especially on signing day whenever he's doing an interview. So pretty impressive there. He is a good coach. He's psychotic. I think we can all see that. Anyone
Definitely.
that works, everything that I've seen is that everyone that works with him cannot wait to get on the first opportunity that they have elsewhere. But the accolades and the wins speak for themselves. Super Bowl appearance, which I loved those 49er teams and how they played and how physical they were. I like the team he had at Michigan this year was really similar to what you saw for those 49er teams. Not as much quarterback run stuff, but still, I like the way he goes about things. And Michigan being able to hang on to him that's big time. I know there's probably people that felt like it was a good opportunity to kind of start building on something else, maybe, but the proof's in the pudding with the wins. They're in a good spot right now. That's good for Michigan that he's going to be around. It is going to cost him some money.
Yeah, it's definitely going to cost him money, and he's got to replace both his defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator, because Mike McDonald, the DC, he left to be the Ravens defensive coordinator. And then this Josh Gattis situation is interesting because he left to be Mario Cristobal's offensive coordinator at Miami. And remember, Gattis just won the Broyles Award, for the best assistant in all of college football. This is how I'm guessing this went down. Harbaugh thought he was going to get one of these jobs, right? Vikings job, Raiders job, whatever. And Gattis thought he was going to be the next head coach at Michigan. And maybe Gattis found out he wasn't going to get it, or maybe he thought he was going to get it. And then Harbaugh decided to come back, and the administration said, "Nope, Jim's our guy." But whatever happened, I think Gattis got pissed, and now he's going to Miami to work for Mario Cristobal, who is also a notorious grinder. But I guess Gattis texted some Michigan players and said something like, "Unfortunately, the past few weeks," told a different story to me about the very little appreciation I have from administration. And then I believe the quote was, in life, I would never advise anyone to be where they are not wanted. All right, little dramatic, Josh, just a
Woo.
little bit. But I'm guessing he thought he was going to be the next head man at Michigan, and then it all fell through, and it pissed him off. And he was like, I don't want to work for Harbaugh anymore. I'll just go to Miami.
Yeah, that's pretty wild how that all unfolded. What do you think the situation was though with McDonald?
Well, he
'Cause
came
he's-
from there. Remember, didn't he come from the Ravens?
Is that right?
Is that right? That could be completely
Maybe.
wrong, but
I'm just
Wink
wondering, like,
Martindale's out.
right? I think
So John
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh called and said, hey, you
I
want to
know
not
it's
deal with any recruiting or any of that stuff and just be an NFL coach? And I'm sure he was like, yes, I do.
that's what I'm saying. I wonder if like that creates any bad blood between the Harbaugh brothers, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it was like a done deal because he thought he was definitely going to the NFL. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. But hey, still good weekend for Michigan. For my loser of the weekend, Brian Harsin. I mean, this is what the hell is going on at Auburn? Brian Harsin, the guy's just trying to relax on vacation, and all of a sudden it really feels like he's going to be out after just 1 year at Auburn. So Auburn had a board of trustees meeting, and the Auburn president came out afterwards and said they'll make the appropriate decision at the right time, which that's not exactly a ringing endorsement of Brian Harsin. Also, I guess the athletic director met with some of the team leaders, and they were like, hey, stay the course. We don't know what's going to happen here. So it's like, doesn't sound like anyone at Auburn knows what's about to happen. But Auburn just paid Gus Malzahn $21.5 million to go away last year. And now, if they end up pushing Harsin out and firing him, they will owe him $18.3 million to go away after one season. That is nearly $40 million of buyouts in 2 years. And there is a lot of buzz that Auburn's leadership is looking for a reason to be able to fire him with cause, which that always doesn't end up in a giant legal battle. Just ask Kansas. Ask Kansas about that one, guys.
Right. You think it works well whenever it's out there that we're going to try and cook up a reason to fire him with cause? Like, no. Like, you've basically outed yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't go in after the fact and do that.
Dude, how weird is this?
It's not weird.
It's Auburn.
It's Auburn. If you can't look in the mirror and say, we just had to pay a coach over $20 million to get out of here, to get out of town, and a year later, we're about to pay someone $18 million. We're talking $40 million to coaches that are not going to be coaching here. If you can't look in the mirror and say, guys, we are the problem, then guess what? 2 years from now, Auburn will be paying Joe Blow $15 million as they, cut ties, whatever. It's so stupid. What could Brian Harsin have done that is this bad? And why? You don't have to put that in the contract. You could structure it however you want. And I know a lot of guys are going to come up and demand that, they want this buyout money. You can say no and hire someone. There'll be a long list of really good football coaches that'll line up to coach there. And I know that's not going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, stop putting yourself in this position.
Yeah, and it feels like, remember all those donors that we were hearing about that were pissed that they didn't hire Kevin Steele because, he had buddied up with some of the big donors there at Auburn, but the president and the AD, they were like, no, we're going to take control, and Brian Harsin was their guy. It seems like those donors that were pissed off about that whole thing are the ones that are about to get Harsin fired. That's how it feels to me. And there are some weird things that have happened, right? He fired Mike Bobo. He hired Austin Davis then to replace Bobo, who resigned. Now, Austin Davis cited personal reasons after I think he had the job for like 6 weeks. Derek Mason left for Oklahoma State. A bunch of players hopped in the transfer portal. Some of them have been rather outspoken on social media. It's just a dumpster fire, man. I love it. It's so entertaining. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I would like to know why Brian Harsin is so horrible for them. But I'm interested to see where it goes, because if they do get rid of him, they've got to hire somebody, and that somebody is Gary Patterson.
His tenure at Texas could be short, huh?
No buyout. You don't have to pay his contract out to get him out of somewhere. So he clearly wants to still be around football. I'm just throwing that out there. I have no idea, but
he had expressed intrigue about helping Texas move to the SEC. I've been told that by multiple people.
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to get there quicker.
I don't know what they would do, honestly. I have no idea what direction they would go.
Also, couldn't you see GP being like, hell no, I don't want those jobs. Those people are crazy.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. It's the best job in the world. You work 1 year and then take the rest of your contract.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
And hell, Brian Harsin, you make a great case that he's the winner of the week by far.
It's a good point. Maybe I should have switched that. Maybe Michigan should have been the loser and Harsin should have been the winner. Oh, what a week in college football.